It's so funny. It's so full of heart and sadness, which I am drawn to.
Just to kind of start us off, I wanted to go to you, Liz, and just talk a little bit about your concepts for the series. Obviously, it tackles home and just kind of like what that really means to people. So how did you come up with that, and what do you hope audiences take away from that?
Well, I came up with the concept for this show during the pandemic when we were locked down inside of our homes, and suddenly these four walls took on a lot more meaning and importance than they ever had. Our homes were really the only place we were safe. Anytime you had to leave your house, you had to wear a mask. And I started to think about that even before the pandemic and after, when you leave your house, you do put sort of a figurative mask on. And I thought there's something here. This is interesting. Like, at night during the pandemic, I would surf Zillow just so literally I could like visit other people's houses and see inside and just be anywhere other than this place where we weren't allowed to leave. And then eventually I started looking for a new house with my wife, and we saw over 50 houses. And every time we walked into a new door, you could feel that there was a story there. Somebody had lived a life. Somebody had loved and lost and kept secrets and had parties. And I just thought, there's a show here. There's a show in the buying and selling of a house, and the aspirations and the determination that it takes to get what you want. And I thought it would be interesting to explore just how far people are willing to go to get their dream.
Yeah, no, I love that. I feel like you can really tell the backstory now that I know it, like, and after seeing the show, like, it makes perfect sense. And I feel like you can tell a lot about a person from their house. So it's really...
Definitely.
Yeah,
right.
It's so fun to see. And going over to you, Abby, I mean, I just wanted to ask, obviously it sounds like she had such an amazing concept to pitch to you, but like, what really drew you into this?
Yeah, I mean, so much. I've never done a project full of so much mystery and twists and turns. And when I first read the script and we first met, it was just, I mean, I'd been such a fan of Liz and Dead to Me. And so that was like my immediate, like, I would love to do this. But then I read the script and it was just all the things. It's so funny. It's so full of heart and sadness, which I am drawn to. But it's full of all the things I look for when I go to watch something. And I felt like Leslie was full of all those things too. She, as Liz said, like, she is so determined to get this house and to find out what happened in there, for selfish reasons, to figure out how she and her wife can be the ones to own it. And she's going through a lot in her partnership. They're trying to build a family, and they've sort of put a stop to doing that, and just navigating, at least when we meet them, they have, and just navigating what that looks like. There's just so much there. And I could kind of go on and on about what drew me to it. But I think even in watching the whole show now, I'm like, it has everything. I laughed, I cried, I'm in awe of the cast, and the sets. Like, it just has all the stuff.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I've been talking with everyone, and I'm just like, I love comedy, mysteries. They just really draw you in. But then this one also has such amazing representation, which I wanted to ask you, Liz, just about like how you chose what, stories you wanted to tell. There's so many different couples, people that we get to see. So how was the thought process of what you wanted to show in that aspect?
Well, I mean, I'm always interested in exploring stories and sharing stories that feel undertold. And, for me, obviously, as a queer person who's married and now has a child, we went through many years of fertility struggles and IVF and loss. And it was really important to me to show that story in the context of just a show about a bunch of people, and this is a cast, I think, at least, from my imagination, that represents who you might kind of run into at an open house in Los Angeles. There's the writer who's struggling with his follow-up book. There's the lawyer who's extremely determined and aspirational, and her wife who's a doctor, and, a Philharmonic pianist and her contractor husband. And, I just, I try to write somewhat from experience, but also from at least a place of empathy. So if I can sort of get in there emotionally and understand where the character is coming from, I feel like I can write it. And, that's a little bit how I hone in on who I want to write. And, yeah.
Absolutely. And I love what you said just about bringing it what an LA selling of a house would look like, because even the first 2 seconds I was like, we're in LA. I feel it. We are here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.